Lance, could you talk a little bit about your role helping Levi win, your fitness, and who you think the riders are that will give Levi the most trouble for GC?
Well, I've personally struggled a little to find the condition that I'd like. There's been moments where I thought it was getting better, and then I had other little physical or health issues that came along and complicated things. I like to think that we're headed in the right direction now, but like I said, that's why we have the event, and you can truly test yourself. But as you said, I mean, the main priority is to support Levi, although I do think that, as we all know, it's a team sport. We bring a deep squad here between Levi, myself, Chris Horner, who's riding fantastic, Yanni Brajkovic, Popo Chechu, a lot of guys that can, I think, factor into the race if we need them to. But this is as I mentioned a second ago, a big race for the team, and it's Levi's. This is like your Super Bowl, right? This is he's Mr. California, so that's our intention initially. However, the road sometimes dictates things a little different, but we certainly go in all focused on that. Nobody else with any other agenda.
Who do you think are there?
Oh, the other? Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously Andy down there, I know he tried to blame some jet lag, but we're not believing that. Fabian said he took 2.5 weeks off the bike, and we don't believe that. I guarantee you that Levi will kick Cavendish's ass on all the climbs, so we're not worried about that. Zabriskie down there, who rode the TT on Mother's Day, plug for the moms, that's good. I think it comes down to the time trial, so you have to look at, I mean, if I was looking at it as an analyst, I would say Levi, Dave, and Michael Rogers would probably be the big three, but that's not any surprise to anybody here. But I'm not sure that the climbs are selective enough, and I still think the TT decides the overall.
Elliot?
Certainly your fans would like to see you win, but they also like to see you out there supporting your cause. So can you sort of talk about this year, if you're in it to win it, or out there to support the cause, or both? And also if you could talk about your bike security, where you're going to be keeping it.
In it to win it, this race or the tour?
This race.
No, I mean, our purpose is, first of all, obviously to get a victory for the team. But we think, from the team's perspective, our best chance is certainly with Levi. So, as I mentioned a minute ago, we go in with the sole focus and intention of supporting him. If the road dictates something differently, then we'll see how that goes at the time. But I'm more than happy to be here as a team rider and a domestique, so to speak. Yeah, what was the second part? The bike security is that. I didn't think anything about that until I got here, and I kept getting these messages on Twitter, etc., about people saying, watch out for your bikes, watch out for your bikes. And we're staying in the same hotel, so it's not like it's any secret where the bikes will be, but I think they'll... No, we're not staying in the same hotel. We're staying in a different hotel. We changed hotels. It wasn't nice enough for Levi. He wanted to stay in a nicer hotel.
Lance, you said several times last year, Lance, that you hoped or expected that with a year of racing in your legs that you would be actually a better bike racer this year than in 2009. So my question is, are you? And also, how would you compare your ambition and your emotional sort of drive to last year?
Tough to answer the first part. Like I said a second ago, we've had some glimpses and some maybe false starts, but it has not been as easy or smooth. Not that last year was easy or smooth, but this one's has been fairly tough. I don't think that we're pulling the fire alarm, but now is the time where the signs need to start pointing up. And we have California, we have whatever race we choose in June, and then we have the tour. And of course, the tour is an interesting one in that it's not one you can come into late, I think, because it is going to be a stressful first week and a critical first week where everybody has to be fit and everybody has to be ready. And at the same time, it's, some would say, weighted towards the end with the only TT, the only long TT, and the big days in the Pyrenees. So I'm hopeful that it gets better. But I'm a rider that a lot of times hasn't had a lot of doubts. Sometimes there are days I have doubts, to be honest. And but that nonetheless, I keep plugging away. I train hard. One thing I've tried to do here recently is just simplify my life. And I think you know as well as anybody that life is hectic for me now. Between being a professional bike rider again, between having 4 kids, a 5th on the way, between my commitment to the foundation and all of the travel that entails. I mean, at the end of it all, a lot of people, even the guys on this stage or guys in the group, say, how do you do that? I mean, I like to go home and just throw my legs up and not do anything. But it's not something that I can easily do. So I've tried to cut back as much as I can and know that we've got 50 days. Today, we have 50 days until the start of the tour. And so everything else will have to be put on hold for 50 days. And then we'll race and we can go back to doing that. And as far as my emotional connection, or my emotional not well-being, I'm not sure about that. My what?
Drive.
My drive. It's good. When you have bad days, as we all do, those things, your drive and your determination takes a hit. And you know, if you asked me this the day after Tour of Flanders, when I thought I did a good, not compared to these 2 motorcycles next to me, but I thought I did pretty good for an old man. It was high. If you asked me in New Mexico a couple of weeks ago when I was suffering like the proverbial dog, it was low. So it's now coming up. I've had a good week of training. I feel healthier than I did then, but no doubt I still believe that I can win the tour. And everybody might think that's crazy, but I'm going to do everything I can to get to the start line in the best shape and race heads up in the first week and see what happens in the mountains.